President Muhammadu Buhari has sent 2020-2022 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper to the National Assembly for consideration and approval. The fiscal document was received and read in the Senate by the Senate President Hamad Lawal at the resumed plenary section on Wednesday. According to him, the key thrust of the 2020-2022 medium term includes sustaining growth and diversifying the productive base of the economy in line with the nation's economic recovery and growth plan.
Letter from Mr. President. Distinguished Senator Ahmad Ibrahim Lawan, President of the Senate. Dear Distinguished Senate President, submission of 2020 to 2022 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. It is with pleasure that I hereby submit the 2020 to 2022 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, MTEF/FSP, to the Senate. Let me use this medium to express my gratitude for the much improved partnership between the legislative and executive arms of the federal government in our goal of making the budget process deliver better outcomes for the Nigerian people. In particular, I note with appreciation the commitment and support the distinguished senators have continued to demonstrate. Pursuant to provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, the preparation towards submission of the 2020 budget to the National Assembly is progressing well. The MTEF/FSP was prepared taking into account key developments in the global and domestic environments. We have endeavored to ensure that forecasted revenues are realistic but also reasonably challenging in the face of a significantly constrained fiscal space. Planned spending has been set at prudent and sustainable levels consistent with the government's overall developmental objectives as set out in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan (ERGP). Given our shared objective of returning the budget to a predictable January-December fiscal year with effect from 2020, I hereby forward the 2020/2022 MTEF-FSP to the distinguished Senate and trust that it will be expeditiously considered in order to facilitate the 2020 FGM budget preparation process. Please accept, Mr. Senate President, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari.
The framework set out some key projections and assumptions which will be a basis for the 2020 budget. According to the Finance Ministry, the budget will be based on oil production capacity of 2.18 million barrels per day, crude oil price at $55 per barrel, exchange rate of 305 naira to dollar. The Nigerian Senate has summoned the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Kamalami, and other relevant government agencies briefing on the details of the gas contract to the Process and Industrial Development Limited and $9.6 billion penalty awarded against Nigeria. Senate made this resolution on Tuesday at its resumption following a motion raised by Senator Okoyemi Bamidele representing Ekiti Central. Senator Bamidele asked AGF, Petroleum Resources professionals and other relevant agencies, key players and stakeholders to appear before the upper chambers and comprehensively brief the relevant Senate committee on detail of the 2010 contract.
Distinguished colleagues, is on the need to invite the Honorable Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation and other relevant stakeholders to brief relevant committees of the Senate on the award of $9.6 billion against the federal government of Nigeria by a United Kingdom court in the matter of P&ID, again, Process and Industrial Development Limited versus Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. President, the Senate notes with concern that Nigerians at home and in the diaspora have become apprehensive while several committees of the Senate have over the last few weeks received several petitions and other direct and circumstantial information on the ongoing legal imbroglio involving the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, by extension, the federal government of Nigeria, and the United Kingdom firm known as Process and Industrial Development Limited, hereinafter referred to as P&ID. Aware that a commercial court in the United Kingdom in a suit referred to as Process and Industrial Development and Federal Republic of Nigeria has ruled that federal government must pay the British firm Process and Industrial Development Limited a sum of $9.6 billion or have its assets to the tune of that amount forfeited.
Seconding the motion, Senator Bassey Apan said the Senate must be briefed by the AGF on the way forward over the judgment against Nigeria.
Mr. President, I rise to second this motion ably moved by my brother, the Chairman Judiciary. So I stand here to say that on the basis of these two acts of this made by this National Assembly and assented to by the federal government, which is in operation, sir, I don't think, sir, that there's any need for us here to overlook the contents of this motion and the issues involved, based on the fact that it is our own national reserve that's being monitored. And Mr. President, based on information also available to me, sir, the original owners of this company have been bought over by an equity company in America who specializes in this camp. So I rise here to support this motion, Mr. President, and I also want to thank you, Mr. President, because even in your opening remarks, sir, in your address, you made reference to this issue, which underscores, of course, your concerns and your passion towards the region of this in favor of Nigeria. So I rise to support and ask my colleagues to support this motion, and also the approach that the Senate has actually taken. I think is quite objective and reasonable. Mr. President, I rise to support this motion, and I urge my colleagues also to add their voices to this motion for the good and benefit of our people.
Senator Solomon Lamilekon from Lagos West and Deputy Senate President Ovi Omagege, in their separate contribution, spoke in favor of the prayer inviting the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami and other relevant government agencies to the chamber.
Said concerning this particular item of transaction that have generated a lot of issues across the country. Mr. President, not to overflog the issue, the prayer of the motion is clear. It's just to brief us. We are not doing any investigation or calling anybody or subjecting them into any public hearing, but at least to be brief, for us to be at least kept abreast of what is even really the issue. Because this actual amount of $9.6 billion migrated from $800 million to about $6.3 million, $6.3 billion, and additional interest of about 3-point-something billion made it about $9.6 billion. This is a very sensitive issue, and what we're doing is, as a Senate or as a National Assembly, let us be briefed. Let us invite all interested parties just to let us at least be on the same page on this matter, so that going forward, we will know the direction the country is going on this issue. I know there are delegations that were in London for at least a defense or so, which comprised of Minister of Finance, Central Bank, oil and gas, and all of them. We are watching and we are listening, but we want to know the nitty-gritty of this matter. So I want to support the mover of the motion and those that have contributed that we are on the same page. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, all of the potential defenses just articulated by my colleague from Akwa Ibom, those are very, very powerful defenses that ought to be available to the legal team representing this country. I'm not so sure, Mr. President, that it is the smartest way that through on national TV we make all of these potential defenses available to everyone, including the other parties. The cross, as I understand it, of this motion, as simply moved by Chairman Judiciary, is to have the legal team headed by the Attorney General be invited to at least in camera address us and inform us about ongoings in this litigation. I think we should limit it to that rather than have other people begin to speak to this. I so move.
Discover the tangible magic of our hospitality that is all about you. The Wells Cotton Hotel and Apartments is a surely fantasy-like journey into a glamorous world of pure luxury and gratifying indulgence. The Wells Cotton Hotel and Luxury Apartments offers guests a perfect blend of relaxation, business and pleasure, delicately infused to meet the highest international standards. It's first-class service at its finest. Our commitment to exceed your expectations means impeccable attention to detail, courtesy, and a genuine care for your every need. Located at number 8 Gadonasco Street, off Jose Martin at Sokoru, Abuja, Nigeria. You can call us on +234 908 7561269 or visit our website at wellscotting.com. Upgrade your stay at the Wells Cotton Hotel and Luxury Apartments, an experience guaranteed to leave you breathless with longing.
A federal high court has ordered immediate release of the detained convener of Revolution Now protest, Omoyele Sowore, from the custody of the Department of State Security Service. Justice Taiwo, who issued the order, however, directed Sowore to deposit his international passport with the registry of the court. The court equally ordered that Sowore should be released to his counsel Femi Falana, son, who will produce him in court for his arraignment in court on the 7-count charge preferred against him by the federal government. Justice Taiwo predicated his decision on the fact that his earlier order granting the DSS permission to detain Sowore for 45 days in the first instance had expired on September 21st, 2019. He heard that in view of the fact that the DSS has equally withdrawn its application seeking the renewal of the detention for 20 more days, there was no competent order of court for its continued detention by the DSS.
As it is, the lawyer to the State Security Service now applied that in view of the fact that an information has been filed that our client be further detained, but we counter by reminding the court that there is no order of court today warranting the further detention of our client, and that nobody can be detained in Nigeria without an order made by a competent court. And on that basis, the court acceded to our application and ordered the immediate release of our client. But in view of the fact that the government has filed an information which is now pending before this honorable court, the court gave a condition, by asking that my client be released to me and I should deposit his international passport. And if and when the state decides to charge him or to arraign him, I will produce him. Of course, that is not a problem for me. My client is not going to run away. Can I assure you of that? Yeah, thank you.
The president of the Senate, Ahmed Lawa, has expressed the need to review the country's security architecture, in addition to making new effort at finding solutions to security challenges presently facing the nation. Lawa stated this at Tuesday plenary while delivering his welcome speech after the long annual recess that lasted almost 2 months. Lawan, who commended the security agencies for working hard to tackle security challenges, called for collaboration among them.
The spate of kidnapping, ethnic conflicts, rural and highway banditry, herdsmen and farmers' conflict, and cattle rustling in land are disturbing to the Senate. It is time we probably review our security architecture. The 8th session of the Senate set up an ad hoc committee to review the security arrangement of the country. We will revisit the report of the committee in addition to making new efforts at finding solutions to the security challenges presently facing our nation. We commend our security agencies for working hard to tackle these challenges. We cannot, however, overemphasize the need for collaboration amongst them. Other than adequate funding, we might need some structural changes to enable them perform at the optimum.
Lawan, while appreciating government desire to lift 100 million Nigeria out of poverty over the next 10 years, said Senate will collaborate with the executive arm of government to ensure the realization of effort towards meeting the outlined target.
Appreciate government desire to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty over the next 10 years. The alleviation of poverty is an honorable cause worthy of appropriate legislative intervention. Senate also notes government social investment and related programs geared towards economic growth. We are not just interested in the continued expansion of available opportunities in this space, but also in their sustainability. We will collaborate with the executive arm of government to ensure the realization of these laudable efforts towards meeting the outlined targets.
In another development, Senate President said all the outstanding committee of upper chamber will be inaugurated on Wednesday. Lawan, who made this known at the resumption of the plenary section of the Senate, explained that the decision to inaugurate the committee was taken by the senators during a closed-door section which lasted for an hour. The Senate President also disclosed that the presentation of the 2020 budget proposal and medium-term expedition framework is being awaited by the upper chamber.
And National Assembly in general. The Senate resolved to inaugurate its entire committees on Wednesday, the 25th day of September 2019 in plenary. The Senate also awaits the presentation of the budget and the MTF.
Discover the luxury at the heart of the ancient city of Benin, the Prestige Hotel and Suites, a fantasy-like journey into a premium luxury. Its 3 minutes proximity to Benin Airport makes it preferable to other hotels, offering the best executive rooms and suites, swimming pool, gym and game center, having access to Benin Airport area view, and with our top-notch event center to cater for your social and corporate events. Any of our rooms comes with a complimentary breakfast. The Prestige Hotel and Suites offers guests a perfect blend of relaxation, business, and pleasure. We're located at number 1 Ihama Road, Airport Junction, Benin City, Nigeria. You can call us on 080-1519-74044, or you can visit our website at www.prestigehotel.com.ng. You can also email us at info@prestigehotel.com.ng. The Prestige Hotel and Suites, a world-class hospitality.
The Christian Association of Nigeria, Oyo State Chapter, has reacted to the abolition of taxes and levies on religious organizations in the state by the state governor, Seyi Makinde. It was gathered that Makinde on Sunday insisted that his government has waived the taxes and levies on religious organizations in the state. He declared that since churches and mosques were not for profit making, it would be wrong to demand that taxes be imposed on them. State Chairman of CAN, Pastor Benjamin Akamu, while reacting, described Makinde's action on the matter as a seed sowing, noting that it is worthy of emulation by all aspiring to make heaven. He said, with their singular act, the governor has directly traded with God. It is another way of sowing seed in God's vineyard. You know, such seed will germinate, grow, and bring forth seed in millions fold. Our God does not owe anyone. He will surely prosper Makinde's administration and the life. Akamu agreed that all churches running business venture should pay every applicable taxes and levy on those businesses. Remember, God said, give unto Caesar what is due to Caesar, and unto God what is due to God. Church must pay tax on each of its businesses, including school, hospitals, bakery, commercialized printing press, and others. Likewise, every Christian earning salary or engaging in one trade or other must pay tax or levy as applicable. That is the commandment of God.